Ask your realtor to write us into your sales contract or visit us online at milliganreynolds.com.
Life is complicated. The Salto Agency is simple. And that's something very good to know in a world where insurance decisions are all too complicated. Taylor Salto and his team at Farmers Insurance will work with you to identify the insurance coverage that best suits your needs and provide a custom tailored solution to your home, life, auto, or business insurance. At the Salto Agency, you can get all your insurance in one simple location. Let the Salto Agency provide peace of mind so that you know that you and your family will be cared for properly. Stop by their new office today at 6229 Vance Road, Suite 115. You can reach the Salto Agency online at saltoinsurance.com. That's SOLTAU insurance.com. Let Taylor Salto at Farmers Insurance make your life a little simpler today. Farmers Insurance, the Salto Agency, custom tailored insurance.
Hi, my name is James, and today I want to tell you about Pediatric Dentistry of Chattanooga. That means they only treat kids. Fun fact. Did you know that a dentist for kids goes to school 2 years longer than a regular dentist? When I see my dentist, I get to play games. When my teeth are clean, I get to pick out a toy to take home. I love toys. You really should see my dentist. It is fun.
As a realtor, you can easily protect both your buyers and sellers with a home warranty. Hi, I'm Beth Kelly with American Home Shield. We're the founders and leaders of the home warranty industry with more than 45 years of experience. American Home Shield has a network of over 14,000 contractors to respond to your clients' unexpected breakdowns. We even offer a rekey service with all buyers' warranties at no additional cost. Find out more about all that American Home Shield has to offer and find us online at ahs.com.
3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio, Digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
The Wastewater Treatment Authority insists that Ooltewah needs a water treatment sewage plant, but residents don't want it. Some of them even promise to sue if that treatment plant is placed on Man Gap Road. The rezoning case goes before the Planning Commission on November the 12th. The final decision by the County Commission will be in December. Expect major delays on Highway 27 over the weekend. The entrance ramp at West Main Street to 27 is going to be closed down, and lane shifts will be occurring as construction crews are working on constructing a new on-ramp. Congressman Chuck Fleischmann teased that President Trump could be coming to the Scenic City, and new reports indicate it's going to happen November the 5th. He's going to come by to campaign for Marsha Blackburn just one day before the midterm elections. Keon Stewart, the suspect in the SWAT standoff from Lee Highway, was formally charged with second-degree murder. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Expect clear, breezy, and much colder weather out there through your nighttime. Overnight lows into the upper 30s to around 40. For Sunday, lots of sunshine, still quite cool. Highs staying into the mid and upper 50s. Tomorrow night, mid and upper 30s, some scattered frost back into the lower 60s Monday. For lunch or dinner, come to Guthrie's, home of the original golden fried delicious chicken finger with their special sauce. Open daily. Locations in Trenton, Signal Mountain, and Ringgold. Go get Guthrie's. It's always good. And I'm Sourcine 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ford.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Welcome back to Mortgage Sense with Kevin, a common sense approach to mortgages. I'm Kevin Blair with Element Funding. I've got Beth Mansell with Element Funding. Mansell.
Not Zelling.
Should we change it to Beth Kevin? Nope. And then we got the lovely Miss Cheryl Fuquay with Keller Williams. And before I forget, because if I do forget this, I'm in trouble. We had 2 birthdays this week.
We did.
We had Mimi Blair. That's Miss Sherry Blair.
Hi. Happy birthday,
Happy
Sherry.
birthday, Sherry.
Her birthday was Thursday. And my third oldest grandchild, Carrington Blair. So happy birthday, Carrington. Hope you're listening.
Happy birthday.
I know, and we got to thank her daddy for being one of our sponsors, too, with Pediatric Dentistry of Chattanooga.
We do. And I thought something else very important for everybody who is wanting to find the Fuquay group, we need to spell their name.
Absolutely.
Because it can be hard to spell, but easy to trust. So it's FUQUA.
That's right.
FUQUA.
And what's y'all's website?
www.thefuquaygroup.com.
The
Fuquaygroup.com. The Fuquay Group. Millennialsconnect.com.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And I'll go ahead and type that in here too.
Yeah, put that on there for her. So we had talked a little bit, we teased a little bit about the shift in this market because we are seeing a big shift.
Yes, we are.
And you brought some good information to us. So what's going on in this crazy market that we're in?
Okay. Well, as most of us know, I mean, all of us that are in the business and buying and selling houses understand the last 3 years has been a big change in the real estate market.
Yes, it has.
And we have definitely shifted to a seller's market. And what's happened in the last 3 years is that the inventory, for different reasons, has become very low. And so with that, it means that there were less houses to sell, which actually drove the prices up. The prices up. That price. So we had a lot of buyers that were vying for those few houses. And so that has been a huge challenge for real estate agents.
that's the understatement of the day.
Yes, and I think we've talked about this before.
Yes,
at one point, Brad wrote 9 or 11 offers for a girl, and finally got one. And it was kind of interesting because that was kind of right before things have started to change. And we are feeling it.
But let's preface that too, because she made 8 great offers.
She did. And
they were price offers.
They were all over. Most of them were over full price.
Right.
And she was not able to get them. And what is concerning about that, and we tried to be, as the Fuquay Group, tried to be very careful about counseling our buyers to not overpay, because this is what happens in the real estate business, is that it never stays the same. And we all know, those of us that are old enough to have been in business a long time or lived long enough.
Be careful.
Right.
Be careful.
Be careful.
Yes. No, be careful about how long we've been in business.
Oh, that's even worse.
That's even worse.
Yeah. But, we understand and know that real estate never stays the same. And in general, in the economy, things change, interest rates, all of those things play into it. And so what we are beginning to feel in our market is a shift. And Gary Keller, one of the co-founders of Keller Williams, wrote a book when, I think in 2008, when things went crazy, and the whole market crashed, and talked about the shift of what happens in real estate. And just kind of I brought the book today because it's a really cool book about, how things work. How things work in our business. And so Gary says that real estate is a cyclical business. What goes up must come down, and what is down won't stay there.
That's right.
And I really liked that because I thought that is so true. Shifts are never unexpected, but they're rarely predictable. One is coming. You don't know when. They are, in fact, inevitable because we know that shifts happen. And in the real estate business, we have our seasonal times of sales. We know that after Christmas, people start thinking about the spring, and start thinking, okay, so more houses come on the market, from February to April or May. And then, we kind of have a lull, and then we have some times from May on to the holidays where it's just different. So we know that it goes up and down, our sales do, and people's mindset of when they should put their houses on the market, what would be a good time to buy. And of course, there's a lot that plays into that.
And it's funny because this year has been different. In my 19 years, this shift, this change has been the fastest it's ever happened.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure it out. And I heard something, and I love learning things new every single week. And we just heard yesterday, or was it Thursday? Thursday, that 58% of all millennials, this group that we love,
Yes.
And I said that with a smile, this group that we love, 58% of their first contracts fall apart, And we've got to figure that. We've got to figure out why. Okay. I think part of the reason, and I know part of the reason, and you and I talk about this all the time, lady, we can't get approved to buy a house in 7 minutes. Okay. And there's nothing fast about this process. I mean, we've got to do it the right way.
But most millennials want instant gratification. and it's hard.
It's all about the apps. It's all about the phone. It's all about, and it's just not that way.
And that's what the commercials are targeting, that you just walk into a house and you can pull out your phone and boom, you're approved for your mortgage.
And you're moving in.
And I would love to know the fallout rate of that. Well, probably 58%.
Yeah, well, it's 58% of the millennials. So, there's a reason why you and I do business the way that we do our business. So what's your advice to people that are buying and are selling right now in this shifting market?
Well, I think it's education is the main thing. We have to be completely transparent and upfront about what's happening. And there has to be a change of mindset. And I would say this mostly for sellers, because the mindset has been for sellers, and rightly so, because of the low inventory. The mindset has been, we are going to get way more than we could ever get before. And I will tell you that sellers did that. I mean, there were some sweet spots where sellers got way more money than ever dreamed that they would get for their house.
Okay, I know I told you this before the show started. We've had 2 appraisals this week alone that have come in under value.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it has been a crazy market.
It has. Well, the problem with the sellers is they knew there was a catch-22, I guess, because they knew that they could get more money for their house, but they also knew that they weren't going to be able to find the house that they wanted to move into.
And they're going to pay more.
They're going to pay more.
Right.
So as sellers begin to, things change, they're beginning to put their houses on the market. We're getting more inventory. It is shifting. The market is definitely shifting to where there's more inventory. Buyers have more choices, so they aren't going to pay top dollar. So their mindset has changed of, well, I don't have to do that. There's more houses that are coming on the market. So I think that we are definitely moving into that. And it has been pretty dramatic. You get around in real estate circles and, everybody's saying, wow, we're feeling the impact of things have slowed down. Interest rates have gone up. So there's a lot of economic factors in why people make the decisions. When is the right time to buy? When is the right time to sell? And, I think that it doesn't matter what market it is. People are always going to buy and sell.
Of course.
Many are circumstance driven.
Right, absolutely.
And many people have to move in and out. So I think what the people that just think, well, maybe I want a bigger house, or maybe I just want some acreage, those are the ones I think that are thinking harder about, is it the time?
It's the lateral moves.
Right.
I mean, the kids that are graduating from colleges, the people that are moving in, that business is always going to be there.
Yeah, it's always going to be there. Right.
But I've got to tell you, and I know I mentioned back when Sherry and I bought our first home in 1980, and interest rates were 18%. Thank you, Jimmy Carter. Okay. Did I just say that? Did I just say that? It is Mortgage Sense with Kevin, though, right?
I mean, it is what it is.
Okay.
Hopefully he's not listening.
But we still bought the home.
Right.
Okay. Because that's what we do.
Right.
And I sit down with families every single day. In fact, I had a beautiful young little family in my office last night that they're looking at upsizing. Okay. Their family is growing. They've been in their home for about 11 years. And when I initially talked to him this week and we were talking about credit scores and rates, he's freaking out a little bit. But we look at this as a total overall financial picture. Okay. It's not just about rate. There's so many different programs that are out there, Cheryl, and there's a program and there's a fit for them.
Absolutely.
Okay. I've always said there's only 3 answers that we give.
Mm-hmm.
It's yes, let's dance. We can do it right now. No, not right now, but we need a plan. And to me, I don't know. I learned something a long, long time ago. If we give great advice, the business will come.
It will.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that family that was sitting there she's working with another one of our top agents, and we have a ball with them, and she's a great agent. But what I love about you, what I love about most of our partners, is they don't push people. To me, this is the biggest transaction this is the biggest purchase that people make in their lifetime. It's not about pressure. It's not about pressure. Well, if you just tuned in, you're listening to Mortgage Sense with Kevin, a common sense approach to mortgages. And I'm Kevin Blair. I've got Beth Mansell with Element Funding. I've got Cheryl Fuquay with Keller Williams giving us some fantastic information. And I got to tell you, we are very, very, very proud of our website.
Mhm.
You need to check it out. It's called BlairSmilesTeam.com.
And I did just post it.
Did you just post it?
See, it's right there.
She did. She just posted.
And right above it is the Fuquay Group website.
There's so much information, not just about mortgages, because we're not just about mortgages. That's what we do. It's just what happens to be what we do. But there's so much information about Chattanooga. We've got our Passport to Chattanooga page. Excuse me, Beth.
We love the Chattanooga Passport page. Love it.
It's unbelievable. So this listing reports, this new program that we brought out to you this past week, we're going to start posting listings out there because we want to help our agents get their information out there. Okay, so let's talk about rates.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
I know, right? I can always count on her.
Oh, you can.
I can always count on her. She comes in and, her job is to sell me. And Cheryl, this is so far out of my comfort zone, and doing live,
I know, Kevin,
doing live Facebooks is so far out of my comfort zone. And you ought to see it in the office. She'll come in and she'll say, okay, we're live.
Yeah.
And
Stacey Miles will do a 180. She'll just do a complete 180.
Just turn and just walk away, But it all, I kicked you again. I'm sorry.
Kevin keeps kicking me, you guys.
Well, she keeps interrupting me, No, it all spurred that dirty word, that 4-letter word that we talked about this week on our Facebook Live page. It spurred from this conversation that I had with this young family that I met with last night. We're talking about rates, and he's asking about rates, and he said, and very seldom do I just give a rate out, but he's buying a $400,000 home, so we're having a great conversation and giving good, solid information, and I didn't want to push him. So we're answering the questions, but I'm also giving him questions to ask because I think he should shop. So he said, well, I found online today rates of 4.875. I said, yeah, but click that rate and you'll find out what's behind it and what it's going to cost you for that rate.
Right.
Now, what's funny, okay, because Beth and I talk about this all the time. He said, yeah, I did. He said, on my loan amount, it was going to cost him $3,600 for that rate. Well, that's a discount point.
Yeah.
Or an origination fee. Okay. So that's a junk fee to get that rate. And you know what we figured out? It'd take him 89 months to recoup that $3,600. 89 months.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. What's the average time people stay in their house?
Well, it used to be less. I think it's more now.
Right.
5 to 8 years.
5 to 8 years.
Yeah.
So Fannie Mae has always said if you can repay a discount point in 3.5 years, you should buy down the rate.
Right.
You should do it because that's the average thing. Now, we probably ought to change that to 5 years. But even then, in the conversation I had with this young family last night, they were talking about putting 10% down. And everybody's afraid of PMI. Mm-hmm. Everybody's afraid of PMI. Now, the PMI on this loan is a $400,000 purchase with 10% down. The PMI was $63 a month. 63. All right. I'm not going to get into the factors because that's way too detailed, but $63 a month. So he's got the other 40,000, the other 10%. They've got it in an IRA, got it in a 401k. They've got it in savings. So he said, should I take that money out of savings? I said, take $40,000 to save $63 a month? No way. No way. And I'll tell you why. We look at their overall financial picture. He's making more on that $40,000
than
$63 a month.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
And that's stuff that an app is not going to do for you.
It's not going to do for you. Okay. So what we did is we looked at this and said, okay, we've seen an average growth in the last 8 or 9 years of 5% a year, right? 5 to 8% a year growth as far as value. You have PMI, you're going to have it for 2 years. You have to have it for 2 years. Once you start it, you're going to have it for 2 years. In that price range house, we know it appreciates faster.
Right.
So in 2 years, he's going to spend $1,500 and his PMI is going to drop. Okay. So, and it's one of those things where I wanted him to come in because he understood it when we were talking on the phone, but sit down with him and his wife last night. And she said, oh, now I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So When we have people call us about rates, it's not just about rates. But I want to give the same advice, Beth, if you'll let me.
Mm-hmm.
Will you?
I will.
I want to give the same advice to everybody that's listening out there. There's 3 main questions that you need to be asking, whether it's a bank, whether it's a broker, or whether it's a lender. There's 3 questions. It's not just what is your rate. What are your hard costs? All right. No matter whether it's a credit union, a bank, a mortgage company, a broker, we all know what we charge to close a loan. Now, Cheryl, I know you know this. Section 8 on the LE, Section 800, that's the lender fees.
Yeah.
Everything else is going to be the same no matter who they use.
That's right.
Okay. So we had a scenario a couple of weeks ago, 5 or 6 weeks ago, where they said our closing costs were $2,500 more. Our closing costs are not even $2,500. Okay. So they couldn't have been more.
Right. Not even half of $2,500.
Not even half of $2,500.
Right.
Okay. So what are your hard costs? And if they give the answer, if you've called your lender or if you've gone onto an application or an app and you are asking this question, and they don't give you a straight answer, just say thanks, but no thanks.
And that's what, when you go online to look at these rates and you see these rates, they're really all smoke and mirrors. Because just like Kevin said earlier, when you look what's behind it, they're always going to put on there, this is how much that rate costs.
That's
so
right.
Lenders are famous for just shooting out a rate, but trust me, they know that's going to cost you something and they're going to add that to your closing cost.
And sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But the second question, do you charge an origination fee? Now, the answer with Element Funding is no. Is absolutely not. The next one, and this is a big one, a discount point. There's a big difference between an origination fee and a discount point. Cheryl, I get calls every day. What are your rates today with no points? What are your rates today with no points? Just like that young guy that looked at that rate at 4.875 and saw the $3,600, that's an origination fee. You can ask me what the rates are with no points, and I can give you a rate and charge you a point. That's the problem, the number one game in this business that I cannot handle. Yeah. I just won't do it. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? We talk about this all the time, almost every week. We had a closing. You and Brad had a closing about 3 months ago that did not use me, that got surprised.
They did.
And
we tried.
We did try. And that was a friend of theirs. Mm-hmm. And, yeah. I'm not sure if they're friends now, but
yeah, we're still friends, but it's
no, I'm talking about with him and his lender.
Yeah. I think there was some, that was pretty tough.
There should have been. Should have been. At the end of the day, guys, we care. Okay. This is my livelihood. I've been in it 19 years. Cheryl's been in it 18 years. And I will tell you, if there's anybody out there, if you're shopping to buy, you're thinking about selling your house, you need to talk to Cheryl or Brad. Okay.
And Brad's watching.
And is Brad
I just
watching?
got the notification that Brad Fuquay is watching.
Miss you, Brad. Wish you were here. I really don't. I kind of like being just with your mom.
Anyway, so go ahead.
So that didn't come out quite right, but that's okay. We all understand what I meant. It's all about not being about Brad. We love what we do. We care about what we do. And Cheryl, we've had this conversation over and over again. I would rather tell the truth and not close the loan.
Right. And I think that is why we work so well together, Kevin, is because we do our business the same way. And we aren't just a giving information. We are a counseling, in a counseling setting. And I think that is what people need. They need
Absolutely.
To hear the truth. And, and it's not always about us selling a house.
Well, Beth, tell us about the Blair Smiles team and how to find us.
All right. You can reach us at 423-488-7571 or go online to blairsmilesteam.com.
You guys have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for listening to Morning Session with Kevin. And you can reach us at 423-488-7571.
And join us tomorrow at Bella Point in Saudi Daisy.
Yes.
Hope to see you there.
Bye-bye.
All comments and representations are not necessarily the views of Element Funding and PRMI, Primary Residential Mortgage Incorporated, DBA, Element Funding NMLS number